In a quiet little village, surrounded by green fields and gentle hills, there lived an 8-year-old girl named Chandni. She was known for her curious mind and bright, sparkling eyes. While other children enjoyed playing games, Chandni loved spending her evenings gazing at the night sky. She would sit by the small wooden window of her room, tracing patterns among the stars and whispering questions to the moon as though it were a friend. One particular evening, the full moon shone brighter than usual. Its silver glow spilled over the fields, lighting up every corner of the village. The wind carried a soft fragrance of jasmine, and the crickets sang their usual lullaby. Chandni, unable to resist the pull of the moonlight, tiptoed out of her home after everyone had gone to sleep. She walked quietly toward the forest behind her house, a forest she had often watched from afar, but never dared to enter at night. The trees loomed tall and mysterious, their branches weaving patterns against the starry sky. Chandni's footsteps made almost no sound on the soft earth. Suddenly, out of the corner of her eye, she noticed something unusual, a faint, golden glow flickering between the trees. Her heart skipped a beat. What could it be? She whispered to herself. Curiosity pushing her forward, she followed the light. As she stepped closer, she saw a sight that made her breath catch. There, perched delicately on a pink flower petal, was a tiny fairy. Her wings shimmered like crystal glass in the moonlight, and her eyes sparkled like distant stars. The fairy smiled warmly. "Hello, little one," she said in a gentle voice that sounded like the ringing of tiny bells. "I am the Golden Wing Fairy, and this is my magical forest." Chandni's mouth fell open in wonder. "Are you real?" she asked. The fairy giggled softly. "As real as the moon above your head." "Can you really fly?" Chandni asked, her eyes wide with excitement. The fairy's smile widened. With a graceful motion, she spread her transparent wings and rose into the air, twirling in circles. A shower of golden dust sparkled all around her, drifting down onto the grass and making it glisten. Chandni clapped her hands in delight. But then, something changed. The fairy's joyful expression faded, and she floated down to the flower, looking worried. "What's wrong?" Chandni asked. "My magical necklace," the fairy said softly. "It keeps the forest green and alive. Without it, the flowers will fade, the rivers will grow dull, and the birds will stop singing. And now, it's gone." "Gone?" Chandni repeated. "Yes," the fairy said, her voice trembling. "I left it by the riverbank, and when I returned, it had disappeared." Chandni didn't even hesitate. "I'll help you find it," she said firmly. The fairy's eyes softened. "You would do that for me?" "Of course," Chandni replied. Friends help each other, and so their search began. The forest was dark, but it was not silent. Fireflies floated around them like tiny lanterns, lighting their path. The leaves rustled with the whispers of the night, and somewhere far away, an owl hooted softly. Chandni held her small lantern in one hand and followed the golden fairy's gentle glow. They searched near the riverbank first, but only found smooth stones and drifting leaves. They looked among the tall grass, under fallen logs, and even inside hollow tree trunks. Still, the necklace was nowhere to be found. Just as they were about to give up, Chandni heard a strange chittering sound. She looked toward a large, twisted oak tree and spotted a small squirrel, its cheeks bulging. Something shiny dangled from its tiny paws. "There," Chandni pointed. The fairy gasped. "That's my necklace." The squirrel, startled by their voices, tried to scurry higher up the tree. Chandni stepped forward, speaking softly. "Hey, little one, we're not here to harm you. That necklace belongs to my friend. Can we have it back?" The squirrel tilted its head, as if thinking. Then, slowly, it hopped down a branch, still holding the necklace. Chandni took a small biscuit from her pocket, something she had been saving for a late-night snack, and held it out. The squirrel sniffed the biscuit, then dropped the necklace into Chandni's palm before taking its treat. With a flick of its tail, It disappeared into the branches again. The fairy clutched the necklace to her chest, relief washing over her face. "Oh, thank you, Channi. You have saved my forest." As soon as she placed the necklace around her neck, the forest seemed to awaken. Flowers bloomed instantly in a riot of colors. The river sparkled like liquid silver under the moonlight. Birds sang, even though it was night, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blossoms. The fairy turned to Channi. "You have a kind heart. I want to give you something special." She reached into the folds of her golden dress and pulled out a tiny crystal, glowing faintly. "This," she explained, "is a moon crystal. Whenever you need my help, hold it up to the moonlight and call my name. I will come to you." Channi's eyes shone. "Really? Really?" the fairy said, smiling. Channi slipped the crystal into the pocket of her dress and looked around the now vibrant forest. "I'm glad I could help, and I'm glad I met you." The fairy touched Channi's cheek gently. "Remember, magic isn't just in crystals or necklaces. It's in acts of kindness. And you, Channi, have more magic in you than you know." As the first light of dawn began to paint the horizon, the fairy fluttered up into the air. "Goodbye for now, my friend." "Goodbye, Golden Wing Fairy," Channi whispered. She walked back to her village, the moon crystal warm in her pocket and a smile on her face. She knew she had not only saved a magical forest, but had also found a true friend, one who lived in a world of moonlight and wonder. And from that night on, whenever Channi looked up at the moon, she felt a little golden sparkle in her heart. Helping others creates magic in friendships,